It's time to rocket your pocketbook. Don't be seduced by our red-hot seller's market. Yes, you will likely get a big fat check from your home sale, but it gets better if you put the pedal to the metal. Wring even more money out of your sale by taking a few extra steps. Number one, fix up and spiff up. Use a broker who provides interest-free cash if these costs would otherwise crimp your pocketbook. Number two, create what I call a certified pre-owned home with all the inspections and all the repairs you will ever do already done up front. Use that available interest-free cash if you need it. Depersonalize and stage with the interest-free cash if you need it. Okay, now you're ready for your broker to get photos, aerial video, and a 3D virtual tour. This is a broker expense, not yours. But don't mark it until the home is actually ready. Next, you need an aggressive broker, not a timid one, whose main concern is being a good guy to other realtors. You need an experienced broker whose main motivation is to max your price. How will he do it? He'll play hardball, not dodgeball. He'll start a buyer bidding war. Give a deadline for the bids. However, make it clear that if we get an offer we can't refuse, that we won't refuse and we're free to accept it instead of waiting for the mass review date. This encourages line jumpers. Fan the flames by constantly going back to the losing contenders, truthfully telling them that they're behind and that they will lose if they don't raise their bid. If you have a high bid, give the losers the bid they need to beat. If the bid is not all that great, then don't give a number. Just let the lower bidders know that they are losing and tell them that they have to raise their bid to win. This may drive some away, but you only need one good buyer who is super motivated to win. Remember, buyers have no right to confidentiality of their bid amounts. Insist that your broker market direct to buyers by offering the buyers a home buyer cashback if they come direct to the broker. Never tempt your broker by allowing her to make more money by being the only broker in the deal. Buyers receiving broker cash will bid even higher because they will be thinking, oh, that bid is covered by the buyer cashback that I'm getting, and so it's okay. This is how you can get substantially more for your home than it's actually worth. The buyers will be using the home buyer cashback to overpay you for your home. It's fair to everybody. Lock down the best buyer with an attorney-prepared doc that effectively and fairly removes all the sale-killing contingencies. If you ask them to remove all contingencies before they have a chance to have the home inspected by their guy, you will needlessly lose good and prudent buyers. And it could lead to legal problems later on if you try to enforce this manifestly unfair approach. A good approach limits the reasons a buyer can back out. If you think the red-hot market will keep a premium deal together with a defective anti-seller realtor contract, then you haven't really seen buyer's remorse in action. Yes, you would be able to resell if your top buyer backs out, but you may end up selling for less. Plus, you'll have the uncertainty of redoing the sale with a shop-worn home in the middle of a pandemic without the excitement of just coming on the market. So, limit the buyer's ability to back out to only major undisclosed defects found in the buyer's re-inspection. It's a re-inspection because you will have already done a seller's inspection and a buyer is just checking it out and protecting himself. Pick a buyer with some extra cash and negotiate that they'll accept any appraisal that is at least 95% of the contract price. They will need that extra cash if the appraisal does come in low. If you add all that we've discussed to the effects of our red-hot market, you will be amazed at the outcome. By the way, if you have doubts about the effectiveness of staging versus the cost of staging, here's what the National Association of Realtors says. 83% of buyer agents say staging a home primarily the master, the living room, and the kitchen, makes it easier for a buyer to visualize it as their new home. 44% that staging increases the home's value by 1% to 10% in addition to selling it faster. That calculates to $8,000 to $80,000 for the average South Orange County detached home. You might think that selling it faster is not that important in today's hot market. However, everything that speeds up the sale is good for your bottom line because it leaves less time for the buyer to slowly deliberate, and it forces a quick emotional decision instead. Some buyers may drop out and pass because of the pressure, but you only need one lockdown buyer to succeed. Happy hunting. I'm Terry Hunter. Call me if you have questions.